While modern farmers drop hundreds of thousands on high-tech combines that might last a decade, there's a secret army of 1980s machines still cutting fields across America. These iron giants were built during an era when over-engineering wasn't a dirty word, and planned obsolescence hadn't infected agriculture. Today, we're counting down 10 combine harvesters from the 1980s that simply refuse to die. Machines that have outlasted their warranties by decades and continue proving that sometimes older really is better. Number 10. International Harvester Axial Flow 1480. Kicking off our list is the IH1480, a machine that represented International Harvester's last hurrah before merging with Case. Released in the early 1980s, this rotary combine introduced farmers to the efficiency of single-rotor threshing systems. What made the 1480 legendary wasn't just its innovative design, but its bulletproof construction that came from a company fighting for survival and determined to prove their worth. The 1480 came equipped with either a 436 or 466 cubic inch diesel engine, both known for their ability to run forever with basic maintenance. Farmers quickly discovered these engines could handle neglect that would kill modern power plants. The single-rotor design meant fewer moving parts compared to conventional combines, translating to fewer breakdowns and simpler repairs that farmers could often handle themselves in the field. The rotary system itself was revolutionary but simple. Instead of a conventional cylinder and straw walkers, the 1480 used a single large rotor that both threshed and separated the grain. This continuous process was gentler on the grain while being more aggressive on tough, green-stemmed crops that could wrap conventional machines into submission. The longer residence time in the rotor meant better separation and cleaner grain tanks. Even today, you'll find 1480s working medium-sized operations. Their red paint faded, but their mechanics sound. Parts remain surprisingly available thanks to a dedicated aftermarket, and many farmers swear these machines separate grain better than computer-laden modern alternatives. The 1480 proved that sometimes the first generation of a revolutionary design gets it right. Owners often describe the satisfaction of watching their 1480 chew through crops that would bog down supposedly superior modern machines. Number 9. Gleaner N6. The Silver Gleaner N6 might be the most underappreciated workhorse on this list. Built by Alice Chalmers before Dart's Alice took over, the N6 featured a transverse-mounted engine and unique front-wheel assist that made it surprisingly nimble for its size. This unconventional layout placed the engine sideways across the chassis, improving weight distribution and making service access exceptional. What sets the N6 apart is its simplicity and thoughtful engineering. While competitors were adding complexity, Gleaner stuck with straightforward mechanical systems that any farmer could diagnose and repair in the field. The N6's Cummins V8 diesel became legendary for its reliability, with many examples surpassing 10,000 engine hours without major rebuilds. That's the equivalent of running continuously for more than a year, a testament to both the engine design and the farmers who maintained these machines. The N6's acceleration rolls, a Gleaner trademark, provided incredibly clean grain samples with minimal cracking. These unique concave-shaped rollers accelerated crop material through the machine, providing consistent separation regardless of crop conditions. Farmers who ran N6s in the 80s often bought another one rather than switching brands, creating a loyal following that persists today. The 6's transverse engine placement wasn't just different for the sake of being different. It allowed for a shorter overall machine length, improving maneuverability in tight field corners and reducing the turning radius significantly. This made the N6 popular in regions with smaller, irregular fields where larger combines struggled. Today, these silver machines command respect at auctions, and finding one with under 5,000 hours is nearly impossible because they've been worked hard and just kept going. Number 8. John Deere's 7720. When you mention indestructible farm equipment, John Deere inevitably enters the conversation, and the 7720 exemplifies why. Produced throughout the early to mid-1980s, this conventional combine balanced capacity with reliability in a package that rural mechanics still praise decades later. The 7720 represented Deere's refinement of decades of conventional combine experience. The 7720 featured Deere's proven 404 cubic inch turbocharged diesel, an engine so reliable it became the gold standard for agricultural power plants. Combined with a well-designed conventional cylinder and straw walkers, the 7720 could handle diverse crop conditions without the temperamental behavior of more advanced designs. The engine's conservative tuning meant it never worked at maximum stress, allowing components to last far beyond their design life. The conventional cylinder design of the 7720 gave farmers confidence in known technology. While rotary machines were making headlines, many farmers preferred the conventional system's predictability and the ability to quickly adjust concave clearance and cylinder speed for different crops. The 7720's large cylinder and extended straw walker area meant it could handle high-yielding crops without sluggish performance. What truly made the 7720 special was its serviceability. Every grease point was accessible, filters could be changed without gymnastics, and adjustments could be made with common tools. This wasn't accidental. Deere engineered these machines for farmers who couldn't afford downtime during harvest. The hydrostatic transmission was robust and straightforward, lacking the complexity that plagues modern continuously variable transmissions. Walk into any Midwestern farming community today and you'll spot 7720s still earning their keep. Many have received engine rebuilds or updated electronics, but the fundamental chassis and threshing mechanisms soldier on. They're not the biggest or fastest, but they show up when you need them. The 7720's cab was comfortable for its era, and while not luxurious, it provided adequate space and climate control for long harvest days. Number 7. Massey Ferguson 860. Massey Ferguson's 860 represented the Canadian manufacturer's serious entry into large-scale combining. Introduced in the early 80s, the 860 came to North America with European engineering and a reputation for handling tough stemmy crops with ease. European harvest conditions are often wetter and more challenging than North American conditions, so machines designed for Europe tend to be overbuilt for typical American crops. Under the hood sat a Perkins V8 diesel, an engine that British farmers had already proven across thousands of brutal harvest seasons. The 860's conventional design incorporated uncommonly large cylinder bars and extensive straw walker area, making it exceptionally effective in high-yield wheat and barley. The cylinder's aggressive design could handle damp crops that would overwhelm machines with smaller threshing areas. The 860's hydraulic system deserves special mention. While many 80s combines suffered from weak hydraulics that struggled with heavy headers, Massey engineered the 860's system to handle demanding conditions without overheating or losing pressure. This attention to hydraulic capacity means many 860's still operate their original pumps and valves, a rarity in machines of this age where hydraulic components typically wear out. The 860's construction quality reflected Massey Ferguson's commitment to producing machines that would work in diverse global conditions. Heavy-gauge steel in the chassis, robust bearings throughout, and conservative engineering choices all contributed to longevity. The grain tank, while not the largest in its class, was built with reinforced corners and quality construction that prevented the cracking common in competitors. Finding parts for the 860 can be more challenging than domestic brands, but owners form tight-knit communities, sharing knowledge and sourcing solutions. The 860's longevity stems from overbuilt components and conservative engineering. It was never the flashiest machine, but it was designed to last. Many owners appreciate the 860's straightforward approach, lacking the gimmicks and features that complicated competitors offered. Number 6. Case IH 1666. After International Harvester and Case merged, the resulting Case IH 1660 became one of the most successful combines of the late 90s. Building on the proven axial flow design, the 1660 refined the concept with better grain handling, more power, and improved operator comfort. This machine represented the best of both companies' engineering expertise. The 1660's 505 cubic inch Cummins diesel delivered ample power with surprising fuel efficiency. More importantly, this engine tolerated the extended periods of maximum load that characterize harvest work. Many combines perform well initially, but struggle during the long days of continuous operation that real farming demands. The 1660's engine was designed for exactly this type of work, with robust internal components and excellent cooling capacity. The improved rotor design processed crops more gently than earlier models, while maintaining excellent throughput. Case IH engineers refined the rasp bar configuration and concave design, creating a system that was less sensitive to adjustment, yet still provided excellent grain quality across diverse crop conditions. This meant farmers spent less time tweaking settings and more time actually harvesting. Case IH nailed the ergonomics in the 1660s cab, creating an environment where operators could work 14-hour days without excessive fatigue. The controls fell naturally to hand. Visibility was excellent with large windows and strategically placed mirrors, and the climate control actually worked, unlike some competitors' cabs that were either ovens or freezers. The seat design, while simple by modern standards, provided adequate support for long days. The 1660s grain tank featured steep sides and excellent visibility from the cab, allowing operators to monitor filling and judge the right moment to unload. The unloading auger was powerful and reliable, maintaining speed even when fully extended and handling high-moisture corn without plugging. These practical details mattered enormously during harvest's time-critical operations. Today's 1660s often show over 4,000 separator hours, but continue working reliably with proper maintenance. The aftermarket support remains strong, with numerous vendors specializing in Case IH parts and upgrades. Many farmers keep these machines as backup combines, confident they'll fire up and run when called upon. The 1660 represents the sweet spot where rotary technology matured while maintaining the simplicity that ensures longevity. Number 5. New Holland TR86. New Holland's twin rotor system set the TR86 apart in the 1980s combine market. While others used single rotors, New Holland employed two shorter rotors working in tandem, a design that provided unique advantages in certain crops. This unconventional approach reflected New Holland's willingness to challenge conventional thinking. The TR86's twin rotors created extremely gentle threshing action, crucial for crops like edible beans, soybeans, and seed production where kernel damage directly impacts profitability. Each rotor was shorter than competitors' single rotors, meaning crop material experienced less aggressive treatment while still receiving thorough separation. This gentleness came with a productivity bonus. The twin rotor system could maintain capacity while reducing grain damage. The system's redundancy also meant if one rotor experienced issues, the machine could often limp home rather than dying in the field. This practical advantage saved countless harvest days when time was critical. Farmers appreciated this resilience, knowing that even a partially functioning TR86 was better than a perfectly designed machine that was completely disabled by a single failure. Powered by either Ford or later Cummins diesels, the TR86 proved that properly maintained power plants will outlast the machinery around them. The mechanical simplicity of mid-80s technology meant fewer sensors to fail and more straightforward diagnostics when problems did arise. The TR86's control system used simple mechanical linkages and hydraulic controls rather than electronic systems prone to corrosion and computer failures. The TR86's cleaning system deserves mention for its effectiveness. The dual cleaning fans and large cleaning shoe area meant the machine could handle high ground speeds without sacrificing grain cleanliness. This allowed farmers to cover more acres per hour while still delivering quality grain to elevators, improving both productivity and profitability. Modern farmers operating TR86s appreciate the machine's forgiving nature. It doesn't demand the constant attention and adjustment of high-strung modern combines. Set it properly at the season start, keep up with basic maintenance, and it simply works. This reliability has kept TR86s in service across North America, particularly in specialty crop regions where gentle handling matters more than raw capacity. Number 4. John Deere 8820. The 8820 represented John Deere's flagship conventional combine in the mid-1980s, and it remains arguably the best large conventional combine ever built. Everything about the 8820 was engineered for the serious production farmer who couldn't afford mechanical failures. This machine was Deere's answer to farmers demanding more capacity without sacrificing the reliability they'd come to expect. The 8820's 619 cubic inch turbocharged diesel delivered impressive power while maintaining legendary Deere reliability. The large displacement meant the engine never worked particularly hard, extending its service life far beyond what manufacturers plan for today. Many 8820 engines have been rebuilt once and continue providing decades more service. The engine's conservative tuning produced less stress on internal components, allowing crankshafts, connecting rods, and cylinder heads to last seemingly forever. The 8820's threshing and separating components were sized generously, giving the machine capacity to spare in most conditions. This over-engineering meant components experienced less stress and wore more slowly. The straw walkers, in particular, were built like bridges, massively overbuilt by modern standards but still functioning perfectly decades later. These walkers could handle the tough, stemmy straw that high-yielding wheat produces without clogging or losing separation efficiency. The 8820's cleaning system featured large fans and extensive shoe area, ensuring clean samples even when pushing maximum capacity. The chaffer and sieve adjustments were straightforward and reliable, using simple mechanical linkages that maintained their settings throughout long days. This consistency meant operators could set the machine and focus on optimizing ground speed rather than constantly tweaking settings. The hydrostatic drive system in the 8820 was robust and long-lasting, using components sized well beyond minimum requirements. This transmission could handle the shock loads that occur when encountering changes in terrain or crop density without the jerking or hesitation that plagues marginal designs. The variable speed control allowed smooth transitions, improving operator comfort and reducing mechanical stress. Finding an 8820 in truly poor condition is difficult because these machines were expensive when new, attracting serious farmers who maintained them properly. Today, they command premium prices at auctions, with well-maintained examples selling for amounts that would shock anyone unfamiliar with their reputation. Some 8820s sell for more than they cost new when adjusted for inflation, testament to their enduring value. Number 3. Diots Alice Gleaner R60. When Diots took over the Gleaner line from Alice Chalmers, the R60 represented their refinement of the proven Gleaner design. Released in the late 1980s, the R60 incorporated German engineering precision with American agricultural pragmatism. This cross-cultural collaboration produced a machine that combined European build quality with designs optimized for North American farming conditions. The R60's Deutz air-cooled diesel was unconventional for American agriculture, but proved remarkably reliable. Air cooling eliminated coolant system failures, a common headache with aging combines. No radiators to clog with chaff, no water pumps to fail, no antifreeze to leak. The air-cooled system was brilliantly simple. The distinctive sound of a Deutz diesel became music to farmers' ears, signaling a machine that started in the coldest weather and ran in the most demanding conditions. The air-cooled design also meant the R60 maintained consistent operating temperatures, regardless of ambient conditions. In hot, dusty harvest conditions where liquid-cooled engines often struggled with overheating, the Deutz simply kept running. This reliability in extreme conditions made the R60 popular in regions with particularly challenging climates. Gleaner's accelerator rolls reached their peak development in the R60, providing sample quality that many modern combines can't match. For farmers producing specialty grains or seed, this matters enormously. The R60 could run faster with less grain damage than competitors, increasing productivity while maintaining quality. These rolls gently accelerated crop material through the machine, preventing the cracking and splitting that occurs when grain is thrown violently against hard surfaces. The R60's transverse engine layout, inherited from earlier Gleaners, provided excellent balance and maneuverability. The machine's relatively compact footprint made it popular for farmers with smaller fields or irregular field shapes. Despite its smaller exterior dimensions, the R60's internal capacity matched much larger-appearing competitors. The R60's cult following keeps these machines viable. Owners share knowledge, retrofit parts from other models, and maintain their combines meticulously. Walking through a R60 owner's shop reveals the pride these farmers take in their silver machines, polishing chrome and painting panels others would leave faded. Annual Gleaner gatherings bring these enthusiasts together, where knowledge is freely shared and the R60's legendary status is celebrated. Number 2. International Harvester Axial Flow 1460. While the 1480 made our list at number 10, the smaller 1460 earned second place for its versatility and surprising longevity. Designed for smaller operations, the 1460 proved perfectly sized for the thousands of family farms that needed reliable equipment without the cost of flagship models. This machine democratized rotary combine technology, bringing it within reach of farmers who couldn't justify larger models. The 1460's 436 cubic inch diesel might seem modest by modern standards, but it provided adequate power with exceptional reliability. This engine became legendary for starting in brutal cold and running in scorching heat without complaint. Maintenance requirements were straightforward, and parts remained reasonably affordable compared to larger models. The engine's simplicity meant farmers could often perform their own maintenance, reducing operating costs. The 1460's rotor was smaller than its bigger siblings, but incorporated the same fundamental design principles. The single rotor system provided excellent separation in a package that was less intimidating and more manageable for farmers transitioning from conventional combines. The reduced rotor length actually made the 1460 easier to keep properly adjusted, as there was less area to monitor and maintain. What makes the 1460 special is its continued relevance. Many small to medium farms find the 1460's capacity perfectly matched to their needs, making expensive upgrades unnecessary. With a 6-row corn head or 15-foot grain platform, the 1460 handles hundreds of acres efficiently without the complexity or cost of modern machines. The fuel efficiency is remarkable by modern standards, with the smaller engine consuming significantly less diesel than contemporary combines. The 1460's cleaning system, while smaller than flagship models, was carefully engineered to match the rotor's output. This balance meant the machine could operate at optimal efficiency without overwhelming the cleaning shoe or leaving capacity unused. Many farmers discovered their 1460's could actually maintain cleaner samples than larger combines operated by less skilled operators. The aftermarket support for the 1460 remains robust because so many survive in active service. Farmers discovered these machines could be updated incrementally, adding better lights, comfortable seats, or modern monitors, while keeping the reliable mechanical foundation. The 1460 proves that appropriate capacity and bulletproof reliability trump cutting-edge technology for many operations. Number 1. Case IH 1680. Taking the top spot is the Case IH 1680, a machine that defined reliability for a generation of farmers. Released in the late 1980s as Case IH refined their axial flow design, the 1680 hit the sweet spot of capacity, reliability, and serviceability that keeps these red machines working fields decades later. This combine represents the pinnacle of evolutionary design, where every component has been refined through years of real-world feedback. The 1680's 505 or 611 cubic inch Cummins diesel options both became legendary for their durability. These engines were engineered conservatively, never pushing the boundaries of power density that plague modern engines. Run them at rated speed with clean fuel and proper oil changes, and they seemingly run forever. The 505 provided adequate power for most conditions, while the 611 gave farmers working heavy crops or steep terrain the extra muscle they needed. The 1680's single-rotor design had matured by the late 80s, eliminating early problems while maintaining the fundamental advantages of rotary threshing. Farmers found the 1680 could handle variable crop conditions without constant adjustment, and it processed tough, stemmy crops that choked conventional combines. The rotor's diameter and length were optimized through years of testing, creating a system that balanced gentle grain handling with aggressive straw separation. The concave design in the 1680 allowed for quick adjustment between crops. Farmers could transition from soybeans to corn to wheat with relatively simple changes, making the machine versatile enough for diverse operations. This adaptability meant a single 1680 could handle everything a farm grew, eliminating the need for crop-specific machines. What truly sets the 1680 apart is the number still working today. Drive through grain-producing regions, and you'll see these machines everywhere, not as nostalgic decorations, but as active, productive equipment. Many farms run 1680s as primary combines, not backups, trusting them for their entire harvest. This continued service reflects both the machine's quality and the practical economics of farming, where a paid-for combine that still works makes more sense than financing new equipment. The parts support remains excellent, both from Case IH and an extensive aftermarket. This means keeping a 1680 running doesn't require scrounging junkyards or fabricating custom parts. Routine maintenance items are shelf stock at any agricultural dealer, and even major components remain available. The healthy used parts market means farmers can economically rebuild and upgrade their machines. The 1680s cab design provided adequate comfort without unnecessary complexity. Controls were logically arranged, visibility was excellent with large windows, and the climate control used simple mechanical systems that continue functioning decades later. While not luxurious by modern standards, the cab allowed operators to work efficiently without the distractions of overly complex control systems. The 1680 represents the pinnacle of an engineering philosophy that prioritized longevity over planned obsolescence. These machines were built when manufacturers still took pride in seeing their equipment run for decades, not just until the warranty expired. That philosophy, combined with superb engineering execution, created a combine that truly refuses to quit. The 1680 proved that with proper engineering, agricultural equipment can provide decades of reliable service. These 10 combines from the 1980s share common characteristics that explain their longevity: conservative engineering, quality materials, serviceable design, and adequate capacity without pushing technological boundaries. They represent an era when agricultural equipment was built to be repaired rather than replaced, when simplicity was valued over complexity, and when manufacturers took pride in machines that outlasted their warranties by decades rather than viewing such longevity as lost sales. For farmers facing ever-increasing equipment costs and the complexity of modern combines with their electronics, emission systems, and subscription software, these 1980s workhorses offer a compelling alternative. They prove that reliability, serviceability, and appropriate capacity can trump horsepower numbers and technology features. These machines didn't refuse to quit. They were built never to quit in the first place. Their continued service across thousands of farms demonstrates that sometimes the old ways really were better, and that quality engineering creates value that lasts for generations.